Hello everyone, today I can present you the all-new Audi TT and the all-new Audi TTS. It's the third generation of the meanwhile iconic car. It has been a groundbreaking design change for Audi as this car was firstly introduced. Now this third generation, from the outside, it looks only slightly altered, but on the inside there are really not only minor changes. It's a very interesting car, and over 500,000 TT have been sold worldwide so far, and I think with this new generation it will continue. The Audi TT is the only Audi model which does not work for the normal name setting. Usually you got A3, R8, Q5, always a letter and a number. The TT is the only one who is allowed to have this TT, the double letter function, and this actually derives from the NSU TT. It's a vintage sports car which was built in Germany, kind of a predecessor organization of Audi, and as well as from the Tourist Trophy, the famous race and very dangerous race from the Isle of Man. So we will see today what the new engines are capable of and also what the new virtual cockpit can do. We're starting now with the exterior. You maybe wonder why I got three cars here today and also in different colors. Well, you asked me first of all to show us different colors, and also you asked me to show basic versions, not only the top sports version when they are available. And so we can firstly see the basic new design changes in the third generation all-new TT, as well as the differences between no exterior S-Line, S-Line and the TTS. And we're starting here. First of all, that's the general new feature. The headlights kind of have this claw design here, I would call it. They are very prominent here in the front, and together with the new design line on the hood, which is sharper, the new bigger front grille, and you see here the four Audi rings. They were inside the grille before in the second generation. They moved up now and are kind of a reference to the R8. And the front grille is here black in the basic version. It's not shiny, but still you see it's huge, and therefore the whole car is more masculine. And when we then move up to the S-Line, we especially see these changes in the front again. Here we got a shiny black front grille, and we got a front spoiler here, which is additional, and also these fake air intakes on the left, on the right, are altered in this version, also with a black shiny element here. And then when we finally get to the front grille of the TTS, here we see this aluminum silver structure, which makes it even stronger and even more exclusive. I like this grille very much actually, and it symbolizes, okay, again with the S symbol that here we got the most power. From the side profile, the biggest difference is here, the TTS and the S-Line. We got an additional curve here, whereas in the no S-Line, we rather go straight to the back. And finally, we compare the rear ends, starting with the most powerful one, the TTS again. And here you see we got four pipes, very, very powerful, and we also got this very prominent rear diffuser. Then we move down to the S-Line, normal petrol engine, but S-Line. And here we got only two pipes, but they are still very powerful. And we also got this fake structure here. When you look at it in detail, it looks a bit cheap, but when you move a bit far away, it looks very good, I think. And finally, the basic non-S-Line version. We got the same exhaust, but we don't have a structure in the lower part here. I know some of you really look at the details, as do I. And so you maybe have seen that here it says S-Line on this red car. Well, why? You already got the S-Line badge at the outside if you only got the S-Line package on the inside, because this car here has no S-Line package on the outside, but on the inside, and then you already got the badge. And also to show you some different seats, these ones here have textile on the inside and leather on the outside, and already got these integrated headrests. Here we got the full leather S sport seats. They look even better. They have this waffled structure here as well. But I have to say, I'm not that a fan of the full leather seats anymore. From the optical side, they look very pretty. But just from temperature functions and also from the grip when you're driving a bit faster, ones with textile or Alcantara inside are, in my opinion, better from the overall concept, and they also look very good. My favorite here in this S-Line interior package is definitely the steering wheel. We had here a perforated structure at the sides, a flattened end. That's all you can dream of as a sporty car driver. Now we're testing the Audi TTS on the Ascari racetrack in southern Spain. The TTS always comes with a quattro. So we not only have the front wheel drive, but also power is directed to the rear wheels. And we can really use it on the racetrack because 310 horsepower we couldn't get on the ground just via the front wheels. And the new progressive steering really helps us here because you don't have to steer so much. You can always let two hands on the steering wheel. That is very important on the racetrack. And we feel that the car is rather neutral. If you really push the throttle here inside the corners, then you realize that it is still electronically reduced a little bit of the power. And well, what can you say from the fun factor? The TTS is a true driving machine. It's so much fun to have such a compact car here on the racetrack. And I must say, you don't really need more of a sports car. You don't need a bigger engine, you don't need an even longer wheelbase or whatever. You don't actually really need an R8. This TTS is so much fun here. So, and my conclusion here on the racetrack is the TT is something, a very good compromise right in the middle, I think. And so we got a rather neutral car, and it's also not too hard to drive. In this car we got the dual clutch transmission in here, the S-Tronic, also with a very beautiful shift lever. And I can just say it's just flawless shifting. I can only recommend that. And from the overall cockpit, this is kind of the innovation here now. First of all, the air vents, they're kind of like airplane turbines, and the control for the temperature here is just placed inside. Also where the air is coming from and how much flow you want to have, it's all placed here inside, and that really cleans up the whole interior, and it's a very clever solution. And the most important thing is the Audi virtual cockpit. You see here we got a 12.3-inch screen, very wide. It's a very new concept, and I must say it's very impressive, especially here with the Google Earth view. And you can also switch the view. For example, if you want less GPS screen, you put it here, you put the speed bigger, then you've got a better overview. And of course, you can also pick all the other functions here in the screen. For example, your telephone, and also the information about consumption and so on. So what's below the hood in the all-new Audi TT? First of all, a little detail. It's very easy to open the hood, and I love that. Also, we got the hydraulic dampers here, so we have no problem that it stays open. We have had so many other cars lately, especially from Mercedes, where it's always a problem, first of all, to open it, and then also just to stuff it with a stick here. That's very cheap. Volkswagen and Audi always does this very good. So this TFSI, a turbo petrol engine, it now delivers 230 horsepower, 2 liters capacity, and this engine already delivers 370 Newton meters of torque. So just from the basic facts you can now tell, when you're driving an old TTS before, you only need this new TT. So it may be enough because this engine already has so much power now. And the acceleration figure, by the way, it's just right above 5 seconds. And there's also one who is using just right below 5 seconds. Here it got 310 horsepower. That's even more than in the predecessor version. There it only had 272 horsepower. The torque is 380 Newton meters. That is actually only 10 Newton meter more than the usual petrol engine. But the biggest difference is that we here got the C-wheel quattro, so we also get the more power better to the ground. And now let's turn to the diesel. So this 2-liter TDI delivers 184 horsepower, and the acceleration figure is just right above 7 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers or 0 to 60 miles. You may remember the petrol engine was right above 5 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers or 0 to 60 miles an hour. So that's 2 seconds difference, and a half second lower is even the TTS. But still, this performance is very good for such a diesel, and you don't really feel the difference when driving because this torque of the diesel feels so good, and such a relaxing ride. I can just recommend this one. The streets we are on here right now in southern Spain, in the mountains, they're just perfect for the Audi TT. In German there's one very nice word for that. It says Kurvenjäger. That's kind of a hunter of curves. This may be something which describes this Autogefühl here very well. Well, and what else while driving? You realize the suspension is flawless as ever, as we're used from Audi cars. Only when there are very extreme bumps on the road, then you feel, okay, it's a sporty, it's a stiff chassis as well. But otherwise the suspension sucks up everything which is on the road, and it's sporty but comfortable at the same time, and that's always a hard compromise to find, but they have actually found it. So already here with the petrol engine, I can just say it's a pure driving machine, and it's such a fun car. I think in a rather affordable price range, the TT is maybe one of the best cars you can pick when you want a very sporty car, and also a car which you can have a lot of fun with, because other great sports cars, they are in very other price regions. So the TT is always a good choice when you want an affordable sports car still. The basic price in Germany is now for the new one 35,000 euros, and the diesel is a little bit more expensive. But the diesel could maybe pay off if you drive a lot. And about the consumption, well, here we got about 8 liters in the mix. They are very silent as well, but they could consume a little bit less, especially the petrol engines. The diesel in our test drive used only about 5 liters, and maybe even sometimes below 5 liters, and that was quite impressive. And I think that could be also a reason to go for the diesel, also if you just maybe don't want to go to the fuel station that often. So to sum it up for you, the new Audi TT and the all-new Audi TTS will surely stay a success for Audi. Well, why? The basic DNA stayed the same, also the basic proportion stayed the same. We just got a little bit longer wheelbase, but the interior is very groundbreaking, and I really love this very clean design, and I think it's one of the most favorite of my interiors in all the automotive industry right now. We got the new engines, and I would never have imagined that I could recommend you really a diesel for such a sports car, but I do. I really love the diesel. And if I would go for the TT, I think I would even pick that one, because you got very low consumption, maybe 5 liters on 100 kilometers instead of 8 liters with the petrol engine. And still you got so much torque, comparable to the petrol engine. And that makes it a lot of fun, but also a relaxing drive when you want it. So I think the TT is a very interesting car still, and has been even more sharpened with this new generation. And now I'm looking forward to your feedback on the all-new Audi TT and our video. Thank you.